Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Richmond vs Adelaide game, AFLW round 2, going through how it was a pretty good game all round for the girls that I had, and yeah, just a really good Marinoff, no doubt in her going absolutely nuts, and yeah, she just in the end did what I needed her to do and ended up being a really captaincy score. It is bold to do captains in the first game of the round, but I mean, I was going to have all 21 playing, so might as well put a captain on the best scorer, and I think she will end up being my best scorer by a little bit, unless Brie Davey can come over the top and outdo her, as I've already had Swanson and obviously Conti playing this game as well. And there's only Davey and Bonici that are really going to score higher, as I don't think one of my defenders is going to go and score 126 or above that. But before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. I've just figured out some things in terms of getting my being able to record my iPad for other videos, so I'll be able to do more videos in that sense. So that'll help with, especially I'm intending on doing a couple of Swans videos, etc., and a couple of draft videos to keep it more, I guess, mainstream rather than focusing in on the Swans in particular, but that'll be in the future. Now let's get into the actual video. So as you can see here, if I make this a little bit bigger because I can see it's quite hard to see, that should be better. As you can see here, Conti 94 in the end she got. And if we look by the fantasy by quarter, you can see 31-26, and I thought, oh, she's on here for a 105, 110. And then she just fell away. She gave away, I think it was 4 free kicks here. Yeah, 4 free kicks against 2-4. Basically had the Marinoff matchup, and yeah, that just sucks, man. Because if those two just take away those free kicks, Marinoff got a -2 and Conti got a -10. So that's 12 points burned through free kicks for me, and especially that is, well, I mean, it's going to be potentially 4 points for the captaincy sake. But yeah, just really, really sucks. So in the end, it actually cost me 14 points, that matchup being on each other and giving away free kicks. But yeah, just really happy with the work of Marinoff here. If I slide over to get me more into camera. And yeah, just really happy with the 125. She was magnificent. Conti 94 is pretty good. I mean, it was a tough game for her because it was in the wet and she doesn't really tackle as strongly as others, and she really likes to get those 1-2s and the handballs and the marks as well. That's where her majority of her scoring is, so it's going to be hard for her to get with the style of the women's game, to get that big score. Seymour, I thought, was pretty dominant in the ruck. If we look at the hitouts, 31 to Allen, 17 to Gould. Well, I mean, she wasn't actually, looking at this, she wasn't dominant. I guess she just, from memory, when this game happened, obviously it happened on the Friday night, from memory, Seymour got a lot of her disposals from behind the ball, so maybe that's why her stats are a little bit inflated. And we see here with Allen and Gould, they actually did pretty well to get, they got 48 hitouts to 32, so I mean, they kind of did dominate in the ruck, but I mean, Seymour had them around the ground, so you have that. And then moving back to the here, if we move back to here as well, Dempsey, 18 touches, 65. If I look at Dempsey here, Dempsey, a midfielder, so not really. Oh, I remember that. Dempsey was the one I kept on getting confused with Conti. So, yeah, they both have very similar dress wear, and I think they both went the long sleeves, and they didn't have the helmet like some of the females do, and yeah, it was just so hard to pick they're very similar in stature as well. They're very small, both of them, so it was very hard to tell the difference between both of them. Then you have Egan, 59, Sharon's 59, sorry, as well. She gave away 4 free kicks, so I think the scoring is there for her, but I think you can wait a little bit for Sharon to pop that 70-75. and just give Cordner a couple more weeks, as Cordner will gain that gap very, very quickly, given her break even and her start, even if she does have a reduced role today. McDonald, 47. Brennan injured apparently on 43. Conti apparently had some form of injury, was it? Doesn't look like it. But just seems like Conti got a lot of contested possessions. What does he score? Scored 120, 110, tracking towards under 30. Oh, okay. That makes sense, right? And okay. Tracking towards 100. Okay, so that's better for future reference. And then what does the player on bench? Okay, so that's bench. Then the injuries are that one. What's the player out? Okay, yeah. Okay, I get the I get the little the key now with all the symbols. So yeah, Brennan's looks to be injured, probably out, but I don't remember the injury there. Miller, Hoskin, Kelly, Yassir, none of these girls really matter too much, as they're not really fancy relevant, as we see with the men. It becomes a point where, and I think this is happening very, very quickly for the women's, is that there aren't many, once you get past about 2 or 3 weeks in, there won't be many people outside of the top, like, 3 or 4 that really actually matter from each team. And I think we're already seeing that, as, like, you can't really cop any 40 scores, so I think anyone below Sheehan or Sharon isn't necessary or that important. Then we move over to Adelaide side of it, and Marinoff 125, absolutely ridiculous from her, 14 tackles in the end, and she really picked it up and got into another gear. 28-34, 26-37, she was just ridiculous. Did give away a couple of free kicks, which was annoying, and had, I think, a couple of I think she had a late tackle taken away, which was quite annoying as well, as she could have easily gone 130, which would have been huge. But I mean, when she went 125, and not many people had a better captain than her. I think only Rowbottom might have scored more than her this round, or and also Whitford might have scored more, or was it? No, she was Whitford tied with her. So second top score going into the Sunday games, and if you look at the averages, only really I see Garner or Davey going above her. Scoring wise this week. So yeah, I think it's a very, very good week, and I think I could actually target Prasparkas next week if Bonici doesn't do well. But we'll wait and see how Anthony does, as I definitely will be targeting. I think I got to target a backline or something, as if we look at the defenders, did anyone actually score well? Round points here, that's the problem with the defenders. You're never really going to be that far away with the defenders. I mean, you had Heads here, who's the third highest scoring defender. You had Thomas here, who everyone was got annoyed about for a 36 or something like that. She scored a 58, so not even that bad. She will go down another like 30 or so K. But I think it's probably time to cash in on McDonald. But just looking through here, there isn't really much. I mean, you could get Sidunari, who put up a 77. You could get Clay. There's some girls here that you can get in, but there's not really anything in the defender class to get anyone in. And even the ruckman are well, I'm not too far behind on that. I could easily get Moffat next week, as I don't know who she plays, but I could get her. But yeah, I'm not too far behind. So yeah, Marinoff is huge. Hatchard, again, huge, but not really that premium mid as well. So not really looking at her. Charlton, Ponta, Kelly, 73. I actually really like her role. And if Roberts is out, which she did have some injury flags, could be interesting to see what happens there. As I try and pick up the let's just see if they show any. Do they show injuries? Roberts out with an injury, so watch on that space. As we look here, that could Roberts' injury, given that she scored 60, I think she'll probably still go up in price, and yeah, that could get me to a no, I don't really like Dupuy anyway, and Conway could be interesting as well, as she's gone 94-60s. No, don't really like that either. Davidson, don't really like that either. Stanton, don't really like that. There's no one to really necessarily like too much, but Kelly could be the one, given her role. I've really actually liked her role, and I think she can pump out 70s as we really try and figure out that forward line. I said that it was set and forget almost, but now it's set for injury, and it seems like that injury has actually come up. But Kelly could be used for a lot of people if she does continue on. I think she scored an 87 and now a 73, and I don't know who they have in round 3. Let me check who the girls have. So Adelaide have Essendon. That could be an interesting game, and the Swans have Brisbane against Hardy. That's going to be a tough game for Moffat anyway. But yeah, no, just trying to find the best games for the girls and trying to find the best matchup. I can't find a good forward at the moment, so it's going to be tough. For anyone that had Lucy Single could be a good one actually for people that don't have her. That could wreck her pod, but yeah, we just need to find another forward if Roberts is out. But yeah, Kelly could be that forward if Roberts is out, but we'll have to wait and see on that one, as it's quite hard to tell this early. Gould 72, Allen 63, Newman, Ballard, Prowse, Randall 51. So that was surprising. Would like to see what her role is next week, given that she's still got a shocking role. But if she does move back into the midfield, it could be, or does get a more favourable role, could be a really, really interesting debate to almost have, as she will rocket down in price here. If we look at Randall, she's already down 100k, and she put in, I believe, an even worse performance. Did she? She put in an even worse performance than she did last week, and she'll have the break even not in her favour. So I'm expecting probably a 200k loss here on her. So you could swing it and get in Randall. But yeah, you could look at I could honestly look at Paxman probably almost as a forward to get. There are forwards that I can get to that will help out. Could go Morrison, as she's done pretty well, and I think she'll probably go whole price or so. Luke, I don't like. Kelly, there's not many options at all once you start to look through them. So yeah, not really liking any of the options here. The only girls that I think are pretty much safe are the Sydney girls. And I do think Erin Phillips will be fine. I think she'll pick it up again. So yeah, we're just sort of waiting, I guess, for that forward spot to see if Roberts is out. But Kelly does seem to be just there or thereabouts. So we'll watch on that space, I guess. And that pretty much is the video. Definitely a lot of going through and not getting, not going straight to the point. A lot of not focusing on this that Adelaide versus Richmond game, as I just try and almost get my thoughts out as the first game of the round. And we've seen quite a lot of havoc on on the week with some injuries, I guess, and some lower scores. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, I probably need to move Swanson probably almost on at this point as we probably take advantage of and get her up to Pressparkus or a row bottom or something like that, as that is probably needed at this point, or switch her to Whitford, as Whitford has gone absolutely nuts in her 2 games, and looks really good, and Gold Coast have Collingwood, whereas West Coast have Carlton, which will be a tough matchup anyway. So yeah, that is pretty much the video. A very long-winded video, but I guess that's just my thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next game review. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.